Social media has completely distorted what woodworking actually is, and honestly, I'm getting tired of it. Everywhere you look, it's epoxy river tables, hand cut dovetails, and showpiece projects. And that is not what woodworking actually is. And I think it's giving beginners the wrong idea of what woodworking is actually supposed to be. Epoxy went from being a wood adhesive or an accent to being the entire project. It just starts to feel like people are just pouring plastic and calling it woodworking. If your entire project looks good only because of the epoxy, is that even woodworking? If you pick the right species of wood, it's so beautiful. Why would you want to cover it up with epoxy anyway? With all that social media out there, it's starting to feel like that's what woodworking is. It's river tables and epoxy pours. I pretty much never use epoxy. I've used it a few times for waterproofing and to fill holes, and even as an adhesive sometimes. But for me, a woodworking project does not involve epoxy. And I guess to some extent, I do kind of get it. It's kind of a combination of two different art forms, and you can make kind of some neat things. But some people have gone way too far, putting crap inside of there and then pouring epoxy over top of it. It's just gotten to be too much. And I think it's just gone too far, and it's time to reel the epoxy back a little bit. Epoxy does have its place. Like I said, it's good for waterproofing and it's a great adhesive, but it should never be the focus of your woodworking project. Social media really rewards things that are impressive, not necessarily useful, and that can be really frustrating for a beginner woodworker. Nobody goes viral building garage shelves. Nobody goes viral building some crappy cabinets. Nobody goes viral building basic furniture. But frankly, that's how woodworking starts for most people. For me, woodworking is about solving problems, building things that are useful and things that'll make my house better. For most people, woodworking is not about building showpieces. It's about building things that are useful. But social media really focuses on the unnecessary things that are extremely beautiful and very hard to make. And obviously, I have 2 YouTube channels, so I'm a little bit guilty of the Hollywood magic myself. I do try to show my mistakes, but obviously I'm going to cover some of them up here and there, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make my project look good at the end because, frankly, I need the clicks too. But I really try and stay down to earth and focus on helping people that are new and showing people that I'm a human too and I make mistakes. Social media does a great job making you feel like you're not a real woodworker unless you can cut dovetails by hand. That's just not true. In fact, I can't do it. Power tools don't make you any less of a woodworker. They make you more efficient, and sometimes they're just a little bit easier to use when you're first starting out. Table saws, routers, miter saws, those are all woodworking tools. Hand tools are fantastic, but they're not required to be a real woodworker. In fact, professionals use power tools all the time. I've been trying to get better at using my hand planes for a long time, but I still suck at it. I can't figure out the dang adjustments. I'm still struggling to get the blade as sharp as it needs to be. My technique is terrible. I'm just frustrated with it. Beginners shouldn't feel like they're doing it wrong because they're using power tools. Woodworking is about building something, not proving something. The other thing you're going to see all over social media is woodworkers using thousands of dollars worth of tools. And a lot of people think that that's what you need to start woodworking. You don't. Good tools can help, but they don't replace skill. If you're a beginner with expensive tools, you're still a beginner. Skill comes from making projects, making mistakes, and learning from those mistakes, not from buying more tools. Too many people spend all sorts of time looking at which tools they need to buy and how to use those tools, and they just don't spend enough time in their shop actually building something. I find that the best way to determine which tools you actually need is to pick a project and start making it. And you'll find halfway through, hey, I need this tool. And then once you have that tool, you have it. Pretty much every tool in my shop I bought because I needed to do something. Now I might have only used it that one time, but I did need it for something at one point. You don't need a perfect shop to be a woodworker. You just gotta start building. This one might be a little controversial and I might make some of you a little bit mad, so if I do, be sure to light me up in the comments. CNC machines are incredible tools, but they are not a woodworking skill. The machine is doing the cutting. You're programming, you're not cutting. And while that is a skill, it is a completely different skill. Some beginners think that if they buy a CNC, it makes them a woodworker. It doesn't. It's just another tool. Tools don't make you a woodworker. Building things does. A CNC is more like computer programming meets woodworking. And a lot of times the software that you get with these tools makes it incredibly easy. And I will say that there is nothing wrong with CNC tools, but it's not going to teach you any real woodworking fundamentals. If your CNC machine disappeared tomorrow, could you still build that project? That is the difference. And I feel like a lot of people with CNC machines are heavily focused on profit. I think the moment you start to really think about profit, instead of just the thing that you're building, the craft itself, it's just not woodworking anymore. It's mass production. Much like beauty social media can make you feel bad about your physical appearance, it can also make woodworkers feel bad about their woodworking projects. Social media tends to make woodworking look a lot harder than it actually is. Beginners think that their projects suck, and they think that everything has to be perfect, otherwise don't do it at all. They think they need expensive tools. They think they need to know advanced joinery. None of that is true. The truth is that everyone has to start somewhere, and that starting point is different for everybody. You got to decide where that is on your own. My early projects were definitely not perfect. And much like everything else in my life, I always bite off more than I can chew. I always start with something that's far more advanced than I should, and then I fail a lot along the way. That's just how I do it. The way you do it's probably going to be different than me. But in the end, you get better by building, not by watching. So, other than this channel, which you should like and subscribe to, get off that social media and start building. A lot of the projects you see built on the internet are built for views, not for usefulness. They're designed to impress the camera, not solve real problems. Woodworking isn't about impressing strangers on the internet. It's about building something real, something useful, something that's meaningful to you. Woodworking isn't about epoxy. It's not about hand-cut dovetails. It's not about the perfect tools or the perfect shop. It's about building something with your hands, learning, improving, and enjoying the process. It's about finding your zen. It's almost like meditation to me. And that's what woodworking actually is. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button. It means so much to me and it costs you nothing. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.